Hello, everybody. Thanks for sticking with me for just a few minutes. My name is Asia Atwood of climatedisasterconsulting.com. And if any of you are new to me, you might not know that I'm an engineer and I'm an entrepreneur, a cannabis advocate. But one of the things that I'm very passionate about and I spend a lot of my career evaluating and kind of studying are natural catastrophes and what can we do to alleviate the damage when they occur, because they will occur. So I wanted to just take a few minutes just to really quickly talk about flood and our flood maps, which affects the entire country. Right now, I'm focusing, this title here talks about New England. I live in the New England area, and we've had some recent storms over the past, and I'll just show you a little bit of this. We've had some storms, some heavy rainstorms over the past few weeks, and in Norwood, Massachusetts, which is actually, some of my family members live there, not too far from where I live. One of the hospitals there was significantly flooded. And this is really a result of a backed up sewer system. So our sewer systems, our drainage just can't handle all of that rain. But why now? Why is it happening now? Well, one, things change. You get more rain, depending on the storm. But we also make significant changes to our geography, to the landscape around us. What do I mean by that? Well, when you are building something, I'll just pause this real quick. So what do I mean by that when I talk about, significant changes to our landscape, to our geography? Well, whenever when we're building up, new properties, laying down asphalt, removing grass, soil, and, the regular natural terrain, and replacing it with, concrete structures, asphalt, driveways, etc. When it starts to rain, instead of that rain being able to soak into the ground and to kind of, spread out and dissipate down into the earth, it now is flowing down asphalt streets and flowing down concrete driveways and through gutter systems, and it's all getting accumulated and it's flowing into a sewer system that may or may not be designed properly for that amount of rain. So the Norwood sewer system, who knows when the last time that thing was designed, but it's not capable of handling what we've got going on right now. Which means that we need to keep on top of these things. Whenever we're building and changing the terrain, you got to keep on top of them. And that affects our flood maps. And this is the reason why you'll see articles like this that say outdated and unreliable FEMA's faulty flood maps, putting homeowners at risk. Another more recent article that came out in Cape Cod, closer to home for me, was that there are discrepancies found in Cape Cod flood data. But this isn't new. I've been training and doing this stuff for over 15 years. And back at my training, when I first started, one of the first things we learned about flood was that we use FEMA flood maps as a baseline, but it's not gospel. It's just something to get us started, something to help point you in the right direction on whether or not you need to dig a little bit deeper. But they're not. We never really went by them 100%. We always use other tools, other resources, just to kind of make sure that we had everything covered. And so from my perspective, seeing articles like this, that FEMA's flood maps are faulty or they're not adequately, kept up to date, it's not a major surprise. One of the things that, FEMA wants to do is they want to try to update the maps every 5 years. And here in this article is a map of the United States and all of the effective dates throughout, every state and every kind of county. So it's kind of broken into the county level. And the goal for FEMA, if you read this article, is that they want to try to update the maps every 5 years. That takes a lot of manpower, resources, time, etc. So they're having a hard time keeping up with that. And you can see it. Anything that's, yellow to red means it's over 5 years. So anything yellow to red on that map means it's an outdated flood map. And you can see we've got a significant amount in the Northwest and in the Northeast, and even down in the southern areas. Everything yellow, pink, red, we should see green, but, or white, which means these are areas that are considered not to be, in flood zones. But again, that's up for debate as well. So, one of the things that you really got to consider is when you're trying to either buy a property, or if you're already, have a property, home, business, etc., that might be close to a body of water, or it may have been in an area where there was a significant amount of development going on, you're going to want to take a closer look at what do the FEMA flood maps say for your area, and do you need to consider yourself to be flood exposed even if the FEMA flood map says that you're not? Because over 25% of some of the losses that I've experienced during my career have been outside of that flood floodplain, and that number is actually increasing. So if you have any questions, concerns, if you think you might be flood exposed and you're not sure, you want us to dig a little bit deeper, please check us out at climatedisasterconsulting.com. We can dig into your specific location and try to figure out whether or not you're exposed, not just to flood, but to other things like hail and wind, et cetera. And figure out a nice game plan for you if you are, and also consider, costs, because not everybody has a lot of money to build and protect themselves from flood like this. So there are some cost-effective things that you can do. But if you have any questions, any concerns, comments, please hit us up, reach out at climatedisasterconsulting.com. Thank you very much for your time. Mad peace, mad love.